Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Yellow Alert, where we take a look at some of the dev responses over the past week and read them out so you don't have to. Okay, so first up we've got a post from Octofox, and it says, enjoying atmospheric bounties, but will you be bringing back space-based ones? As I don't see them anymore, only atmospheric ones. I'm guessing this is for focus testing in 3.16 PTU, and you'll be mixing them up again on live, but just wanted to check you were aware we don't have space-based bounties at the moment. I would hope it won't go live without rebalancing mission locations. Thanks. And we had a response from Euphorius from CIG, and it says, hi, I work on missions, not bounties, but I know how the mission location system operates in regards to these missions. I'm pretty sure the reason you see more bounties in atmosphere is more that the number of possible space asteroid field locations has not changed, but that there are now more non-space locations than the original number of asteroid field space-based locations. To explain, imagine these locations, space-based and in atmosphere, based as a possible locations pool. If there are more in atmosphere locations than in space locations, probabilities alone mean that getting an in-atmosphere location is much more likely than an in-space asteroid-based location. Additionally, I seem to have recollection that some regions of planets and moon combinations may actually have always had less space asteroid locations, so the weighting is even less to space in some planet-moon regions than others. If you want to experiment, you could try moving to or only taking missions that are in the vicinity of other planet moons than those missions you had been taking previously, and see if you get more space locations in some than others. So I see this is a location variety type number imbalance. I mean, I welcome an IC report, but we sort of know, as explained above. I too have played in the PTU, and I can relate to your experience. I did them in vicinity of Crusader and its moons, and though I did have some bounties occur in asteroid fields, there were probably more in atmosphere, which is how I would have sort of expected it given what I know. So I think that's a pretty good answer. Basically, there are more in atmosphere locations than there are space asteroid, and so the likelihood of you pulling out an in atmosphere mission is just a higher probability at the moment. Okay, so next up we had a post from Methine, and it says, staggered fire groups for pilots in 3.16.1 or feature cancelled. Recently, in an ISC, Yogiklat said, adding staggered fire groups for pilots in 3.16, source attached. This will move to another patch or it will be implemented in 3.16.1. Thanks. So Yogiklat has actually come back and said the new staggered fired mode will be in 3.17. Due to some changes in the way the dev streams are set up, we couldn't put it in 3.16 without endangering the rest of the release, but that wasn't known yet when we recorded the video. Yeah, not long to wait basically, and you will have your staggered fire groups. Okay, so last up we had a post from Balor of Red. And it says, hello, we have opened this thread as part of a post-quarterly release feedback assessment. This particular thread is devoted to vehicle balance, so ship handling tuning, ESP tuning, fixed assist, ship speeds, assisted gimbal setup, look ahead mode and head tracking, ship weapon balance, missile and counterbalance measures, shield tuning, ship component, i.e. power plant quantum drive cooler tuning. Be sure to upvote shared thoughts. We appreciate you taking the time to voice your concerns. So there was a bunch of obviously responses here, but we actually had a response from RT from CIG, and it says, over the Christmas period we've been keeping a close eye on discussions relating to the balance of the new ships we introduced in 3.16, with a particular focus on the Ion variant of the Starfighter. Since 3.14 and the introduction of the capacitor system, our team has reworked the balance of the entire game, including the flight of all ships, weapons and components, and this work remains ongoing as we introduce more changes to not only the balance, but the technology behind the game. Balance is a continuing moving goalpost as the game evolves, and while we always aim to have the ships in the right place at the time of release, the challenges of this cannot be underestimated, with changes often made right up to the release after early feedback, data from either party, and pre-release is considered. And we sometimes don't get the ship right where we want it in the first time it's in all of the community's hands. The Redeemer and Starfighter introduced new challenges for our team. The Starfighter in particular, with its large size 7 gun coming in both ballistic and energy form, was an outlier. With the balance we had done so far, it really draws a fine line between its actual purpose, which is to fight capital-sized ships, to something that can be way too effective against smaller fighters. With the early data from Evocati and PTU showing the Ion specifically was far too effective against smaller fighters, we made the call to make further changes before the release. These changes have now put the ship in alignment with the ballistic variant against smaller fighters, and the analytics confirm that. We are still analysing the data though. Despite being happy with its performance against light fighters, we still have further work to do when it comes down to the Ions balanced against larger ships. Due to the size of the weapon and the amount of ammo available from the ballistic weapon counterpart, we must take a lot of factors into consideration before making any further changes. It's important to repeat the statement that balance is always a moving goalpost and subject to changes. We continue to monitor the feedback from the community and analyse the data, but it's important for us not to react too quickly and make knee-jerk reactions to specific comments. This may create the perception we may not be listening or never changing the balance again, but this is not reflective of how we work. A lot of the suggestions offered from the community were either trialled before release or were unable to be effectively introduced with the time available, and as such the current implementation is what we are sitting with for now. We are always listening. Be kind. So that was Richard Towler, the lead game designer for Vehicle Experience team. So it's pretty good. I mean, you know, I think it explains what most people with common sense know, you know, that this is always going to be a balance, and they're always going to be having to tweak things as they introduce new ships, and as they, you know, retweak old ships. It's always going to be this kind of fine-tuning effect, but I mean, we'll get there eventually, one day. Okay, and that is it for this week. Not many posts, but we thought, you know, a couple of interesting ones, so we thought we'd read them out for you. We hope you liked the video, we hope you found it informative, and if you did like the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more Star Citizen content, and jump into that comment section. Let us know what you think of these responses from the devs. Let us know how you feel about them, and we definitely will have a read. But I think that is it for now, so thanks very, very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.